Coming up on this pre-season special, we're taking a look at how our teams are shaping up for the new season. We also have a look at some of the other big transfers and at our season predictions as well. So let's get started. Hello and welcome to this pre-season special of View from Sideline podcast. It's Chris here and Liam is here as well. Hello Liam.
Hi Chris, how you doing?
Yeah, faring up okay. Looking forward to the new season which starts, in a week? Just under a week?
Not far away.
You support. I think is there a game on Friday? And it runs right through to Monday, I think.
Well, I don't know who the first game is actually.
No, I'm not too sure.
I've not checked. I'm not that excited for it.
I know Chelsea are playing on Sunday at 4:30. So.
And Burnley Man City, BBC app is reliably telling me Burnley Man City is the first game on Friday at 8 o'clock. So as of recording, 5 days. 5 days to go.
Long. The gap seems quite short, doesn't it? This time around. Obviously they ended a bit later than usual, didn't they? So hasn't felt the same, but so we're gonna look into, I guess, how Chelsea and Aston Villa are sort of shaping up for the new season. I think have Villa finished all their friendlies now?
Yes. Yeah. I think so. We played Valencia at the weekend and won 2-1. And we played Lazio as well a couple of days before and won quite comfortably, actually. I think it was 3-0. But we've been playing away from our own stadium because it's under renovation. So I think we played some pre-season games at Walsall Stadium, so that was fun. Fun to host Lazio at the Banksy Stadium or whatever it's called now. So, yeah, but we've done well. We've had a good pre-season. How's Chelsea's gone? I haven't seen all the results.
Not too bad. They won a trophy, but I'm not going to celebrate it like a Tottenham fan. They won, I can't remember what it was called, over in America, Premier League. Aston Villa were a part of that. What was it called? I can't remember what it's called now.
I remember now.
Villa were summer.
It wasn't, Premier League Summer Cup or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was something like that. But they won it. Chelsea won it. I think they won 3 and lost. 1-3 and drew. They drew with Newcastle, but they beat Fulham and Brighton and Brentford, I think it was, that they played. They didn't play Villa, which is weird because Villa were in it. They never played each other, but they won.
We were second.
Yes, because we played
at the table now.
We played for it because you drew 3-3 with Brentford, I think, and then if Chelsea beat Fulham, they were going to win it. A draw would have meant that you would have won it. So, so all looking good. I mean, as good as it. I mean, I don't see it getting any worse than last season. But it's a tricky game to start with. I mean, it's at home, but Liverpool, I mean, they had just as much of a bad season than Chelsea did. I mean, they've managed to get into Europe, which I guess is the bonus for them. But tricky game to start. We have that game, and then we've got about 4 or 5 games where you on paper you'd probably see us winning. We got Luton, Forest, Burnley as well. So fingers crossed. But I guess we can look into some of the signings that each team have made. We'll probably go with you first, Villa, because there's quite a few on my end. Not so much but there's a lot of players that have left. So what's it looking like for Villa?
Well, we'll start with the leavers. No major surprises really. No one big has left particularly. Nakamba's made his move to Luton permanent, which I expected to happen. He did well for them. in their promotion push, and obviously with them coming up, it made sense. Ashley Young didn't renew his contract. I don't know whether we offered him a new deal. I hope we did, because I think a lot of Villa fans wanted him to stay. But instead he's gone to Everton for free. And the only real transfer note, we've loaned out quite a few people. Jed Steer has been released. I don't think he's found another club yet, but Villa fans will always appreciate what he did in the promotion bid. But Big Wes has finally left. That's probably the headline news from our transfer window. Unfortunately for him, injuries have really put an end to his Villa career. He just found a bit of form, and then I think he broke his leg in a couple of places, and he just hasn't been the same since. So yeah, he's gone to Stoke for free. So quite an expensive player for us, really. Cost us quite a little bit in the year that we got promoted, and he's been with us ever since, really. But I think I don't know whether we cancelled the last year of his contract for him to go for free, but we've certainly not got any money returned for him. So, but yeah, hopefully he finds a bit of form at Stoke in the Championship. That might be just what he needs to get a bit of confidence again, and get back among the goals. So no real headlines with players leaving, to be honest. I don't think any particular surprises there, but players in, I think we've done all right. I don't know what you think, Chris.
Yeah, no, I've seen your list. New defender.
Yeah, Pau Torres.
I mean, it was only sort of a year or two ago that he was being linked with some of the big clubs in the Premier League.
He becomes highly rated. Obviously, worked under Emery before, I think. Bringing him in from Villarreal for just over 30 million, I think it was. So probably did need a centre back. I think Mings and Konsa did look a little bit leaky at times last year, so it was high on the priority list, I think. Tielemans on a free as well, being, I think, quite a
bargain really for free, isn't it?
Yeah. There's not really much risk with bringing him in for that. I mean, last season, I don't think we saw the best of him by any means. He kind of down tools.
We didn't want to be there, did he? I mean, they rejected a 40 million bid, didn't they, from Arsenal last year? So.
Yeah, and he clearly tried to force a move that Leicester weren't having. So his attitude wasn't great. And I think with a free transfer, you sort of mitigate that risk a little bit. I mean, if his attitude is rubbish, we've not lost anything other than his wages. But so far in pre-season, he looks like the Tielemans that Leicester first signed. And hopefully he can keep that up for the rest of the season. If he can, that will be a bargain. And then finally, the only other real major signing is Moussa Diaby, who I don't know too much about, but is quite highly rated by a lot of people, and he looked very good in pre-season. He was a bit absent, I think, in the Valencia game that we won, but in a couple of the Premier League Series games after he joined, and certainly against Lazio, I think it was, he was probably our standout player. So, yeah, I think a good window overall. Maybe one or two more people needed, just because I'm thinking squad size and being in Europe, we could probably do with another one or two people. Or either that, or he's going to be reliant on our young players coming through, which I guess you have to hit the squad registration.
Yeah, I mean,
for talent. So he might be reliant on that. But yeah, I haven't seen any more rumours for us, put it that way.
No, Diaby's a good signing. I mean, I saw him I've seen him in one of your highlights for a few of your pre-season games. He looks really quick.
He does.
He looks dangerous as well going forward. So I think, he's a good sign. It feels to me that your transfer window is being quite successful. I'd say you bought yourself a defender, a midfielder, and a winger. And with no disrespect to your other players in those positions, but it's upgrades, isn't it? It's not like that you've
certainly. Torres is certainly an upgrade. Diaby, we needed a winger anyway, and looking at his goal record in the Bundesliga, he's hit double figures for the last 3 years. That's in all competitions, but yeah. My only sort of question mark is over Tielemans, because I think last season our centre midfield unit was probably one of our strong points. You know, Douglas Luiz was Player of the Year. McGinn is our captain. Aaron Ramsey, the brother, Jacob Ramsey, Young Player of the Year, and probably our standout talent from the academy at the moment. Tielemans will probably start, I'd imagine, but I don't know who comes out to let Tielemans in, because I don't see us dropping the captain. So it's going to be either Ramsey or Luiz. I think that's harsh on either, if Tielemans gets ahead of them. But we need it. It's a good problem to have. It's a problem that we've not had for a long time. It's competition for places. We're in 4 competitions this year, with obviously all the cups and the league and with Europe. So they're going to get plenty of game time come what may. But it'll be interesting to see who starts in that area, I think, in the first game of the season.
I think Luiz is one of your more surprising players last year. I mean, he in the games that I saw, I thought he was really solid, to be fair. And if you're ever short of a striker, you got Ezri Konsa at the back as well. And I mean, he can just run the full length of the pitch and score. So I mean, I don't think he scored many goals like that.
Handling his in at Allen and running the length of the field to score. Not something he's particularly known for, but he'll obviously be one of the people fighting for his place, because I think that place is very much up for grabs next to Torres. We've got Diego coming back from injury, so he'll be in with a shout of starting, and obviously with Mings and Konsa. That's 4 quality centre halves. And even in pre-season, Emery's taken to put in at least one of them at fullback rather than putting them at centre-back. So we might see a little shift. Maybe Mings will go to left-back, maybe Konsa will go to right-back, just to get them in the side. But it's good to have options, isn't it? Because otherwise, an injury, we've only really got Matty Cash as a right-back. We haven't signed another one. So an injury to him could be quite costly. But if we've got Konsa who can cover and then obviously go and score after a 60-yard run, that would be ideal. So, yeah.
Very good. Shaping up quite nicely. We'll move over to Chelsea now. Where do I? Well, I'll start with the outs.
So, going to be here a while.
Yeah, we could be here a while. I mean, I'll just work my way through the list. So you got Kai Havertz to Arsenal, 65 million. I think it's a fair price for a player. I never really understood his best position at the club. I've seen him play yesterday in the Community Shield, and I still couldn't understand where his best position is.
Yeah.
Kovacic for 30 million. Quite ashamed to see him go, because he had glimpses of real quality, but obviously not enough. I mean, Loftus-Cheek, he's been on the fringes, hasn't he, for a while, but he's got a good chance at AC Milan to get his career going again.
So maybe
Tomori, they got a far bloody team, because they got Pulisic as well. Never really got the ground running. He got injured and never really recovered from that. I mean, we sold him for nearly just under 19 million, so we have lost quite a bit on him. I mean, I guess the one that everyone was probably most shocked by was Mason Mount.
Yeah. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously his contract was going to run out next season, but you just always got the sense that he would be at Chelsea for a lot longer. But 60 million talks, I guess, and again, it's a pretty good price. I mean, the amount that we've made is probably absolutely staggering. I hadn't even touched on the Saudi players yet either.
It's about 200 million just on those players alone.
Yeah.
So it's not bad, is it?
Ethan Ampadu, long-serving player at the club, but just really never played for us. One of those loanees. He's gone to Leeds. You've got Koulibaly and Mendy. Again, Koulibaly he was there for one season, but we had better options. Mendy, I was quite surprised by.
Yeah, me too.
He was out of favour last season. He got injured at the World Cup, and then he never really got his place back. And I guess that they decided that they were going to get someone else in. Aubameyang, not surprised by.
Mm-hmm.
Azpilicueta, again, has to probably be up there with one of the best Premier League signings of all time.
Yeah.
Paid 7 million for him, which is crazy to think how many games that he played for us, and he's literally won everything at the club. At club level, you couldn't win anything more than what he's done. I mean, he's gone to Atletico Madrid. N'Golo Kante, not surprised. Didn't really play at all.
I thought you'd do more of an effort to keep him.
He couldn't stay fit last season. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Baba Rahman, another one of those players that we signed, sent out on loan for about 6 seasons. He's gone. Bakayoko.
Yeah.
Couldn't even sell him, so they released him. And one of the other ones is Datro Fofana, another one that we signed last season's gone to Union Berlin on loan. So yeah, I mean, you know, when you actually look at it on paper, that's a lot of players that have gone.
Yeah, but then that doesn't take into account a lot of youngsters that have left for free or gone out on loan.
But we had we had an overcrowded squad. That was the problem. We signed so many players in January, but we didn't get rid of enough. So it looks like, you know, Pochettino's gone in there, probably had his say on a few of these to say, you know, what they'd be doing. He obviously has his own sort of vision, I guess. So yeah. So that was the outs. Not so many ins, but there's a few, some money spent here. So you've got, Axel Disasi from Monaco, defender.
I've got to say, I hadn't heard of him before this.
Yeah.
I don't know about him, but
he's
not seen it.
I think he said he played every minute for Monaco last season at centre back, and he was at the World Cup for France as well, but he didn't play. That was 38 million. Now this one I'm quite excited about because he's had a good pre-season. Nicholas Jackson from Villarreal, for 30 million. In the games that I've seen pre-season, he looks really good, and he's a striker that we desperately needed. Again with Nkunku, I mean, he was already signed in December, but he waited until July to sign. But again, from what I've seen in pre-season, he got injured in pre-season, and he could be out for a couple of months. So, I mean, that's not great. Great way to start, I guess. Kendry Paez from Independiente. He can't actually sign for us until May 2025 because he's not old enough yet. He's only 16 at the moment. So May 2025, he'll join. Robert Sanchez from Brighton, 25 million. Excited by that because it's someone who can fight with Kepa for the number one spot. I still think Kepa will be first choice. But we'll have to see.
So Sanchez has been signed for the bench.
I think he's been signed for backup, yeah, for cover. I don't know. The thing is with Kepa, I don't know. I mean, he got save of the season last year for that save against Villa.
Tell me about it.
And, you know, he is a very, very good keeper. I think the issue for him was the amount of money that he joined for. I think that put a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, it was a world, wasn't it, for a goalkeeper at the time?
Yeah, and then when Mendy came in, he was almost resigned to the bench. But then he had a couple of good performances and he was back at number one. So, you know, I can't fault the effort for him, but yeah, I think it's still I still think they'll go with Kepa. Oh god, some of the names that we've signed. Hugo Chukwu.
Sorry. Come on, mate. I was going to say you got a lot of goalkeepers in the squad. Just looking through the list.
Yeah, they're about to loan out Selena, from what I understand.
Oh, okay. I was
so he is going out on loan.
Made his international debut, I think, this year. So I was wondering whether he out.
I think I'm right to say he didn't actually concede a goal in the Gold Cup up until the semi-final, I don't think, or final, something like that. Anyway, Hugo Chukwu from Rennes.
Yeah.
23.5 million. A defensive midfielder, but there is talks of him going out on loan to Strasbourg. Strasbourg are going to be the new Vitesse, by the way, because the guy that owns Chelsea has bought them. He's bought Strasbourg. So if you see a lot of our players going to Strasbourg, that's why.
Interesting. We tried to do something similar with, I think they were Victoria in Portugal.
Okay, Portugal, yeah.
Unfortunately for us, they also qualified for Europe, which is against the rules. So we had to sell them.
Yeah.
So it didn't quite work out. I think we qualified for Europe maybe sooner than we expected to, but so our owners had to sell their stake in the club, so we couldn't loan anybody else.
Right. And then the last two that are probably going to be part of the first team squad maybe are Angelo Gabriel from Santos and Diego Morier from Benfica, who both have featured in pre-season and both done pretty well. So, yeah, I mean, that's a lot of ins and outs. But from what I've seen in pre-season, I'm confident that Poch can steer us back into Europe. You know, where that will be, I'm not too sure, but he's obviously got a vision of what he wants the team to look like. And I think the main thing for him is to find that formation sooner rather than later, because last year we were just messing around with 5 and 4 at the back every other game. And it just got a bit confusing in the end, to be honest with you. So,
how has he set you up so far? What's been the general formation?
4. So, like, I guess you could call it a 4-3-3, really, because he's got Enzo Fernandez has been playing in midfield, but he's been dropping back. But you've got to remember, we've got Enzo Fernandez and Gallagher really are hugely known at centre midfield. The guy that we bought from you, God, I'm going to murder this guy's name. I can't say his name at all. Chukwuemeka. Yeah, he's played quite a few games pre-season. He looks so good on the ball. He makes everything look very effortless, which is quite a good trait to have. And he can spring forward pretty quickly when needed. So I think we'll be seeing him in and around that first team a lot more this season. Because there'll be a lot more room for him now as well. And I felt bad for him because before we signed all those players in January, over Christmas and the start of New Year, he played like 3 games in a row, and I thought he was our best player in 2 of those.
Yeah.
So he was just unlucky that they bought loads of players, and he just unfortunately found himself working his way down the pecking order, really. But I mean, it looks again like they've gone down the young sort of route. I mean, a lot of the players that I've just said to you then are 22 and below. So yeah, they've obviously got a vision of building something for the future here. It might not be instant success, but I think they got to keep in mind that they need to be, working hard and trying, just to get back into Europe. I think next season, I think that's going to be the main key. I mean, it might not be Champions League, but if it's something, I think they need to finish in that top 6 at least.
Yeah.
I think the pressure is off for him, for Poch. I think he'll have a lot more time, even if things don't start so well. I think he'll get a lot more time than what Graham Potter got.
Yeah, I think he's earned it. I think from it from before, but
I would love for us to win the league in his first season at Chelsea.
Yeah.
But I don't see that happening. I think this is going to be a gradual process now. So obviously we finished 11th, 12th last season. I think the key now is to get into that top 6 and establish it back. Even if we finish 6th next season, the season after, we need to be then going top 4. And then, I guess every every person that owns a football club, they want to win the league. So it'd be stupid of me to say, that in 3-4 years time, they're not going to be wanting to be competing, at that high level. So we'll have to see. I hope it works out for Poch, because I think he deserves to be at a decent London football club for a change. So,
sure, there'll be out there that will love that.
I want him to win. I want him to win a trophy, and then
just
any trophy, right? Just to say that he was at Tottenham for 6-7 years, left, joined one of their biggest rivals, and won a trophy there in the first season. That would make me happy.
Yeah, I am sure it would. I'm sure it would absolutely destroy many Spurs fans.
I'm smiling now and it's not even happened, but just the thought of it happening. I feel like a bit like Mr. Burns right now, of The Simpsons, where he's like concocted a plan and he's like got that massive grin on his face.
Yeah, I mean, I unfortunately, to bring you back down to earth, I'm looking at the squad and I still think he's got work to do. I mean, Lukaku's there still.
No, he needs to go. They're on about him switching with that Vlahovic from Juventus.
Yeah.
Juventus want like 30-40 million pounds.
And
plus Lukaku. So, but obviously Vlahovic is like 23, I think. So you can kind of see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
I think I can't see Lukaku playing for Chelsea ever again. So
no, I'm just looking at the list. He's still got Hudson-Odoi.
He's going. He's on the verge of leaving.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know.
He's going to Fulham.
Oh, that makes sense. That's quite a good signing for them. Yeah. I'm looking at your centre backs, and I'm still thinking if you're playing a back four, you've got Badiashile, Silva, Chalobah, Fofana, Colwill.
Fofana is out for the season.
Malanga. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, he is injured.
He's done his ACL, so he's out.
You've got a lot to choose from to narrow it down to playing two.
I think Colwill will be first choice.
You think Colwill will be first choice?
Yeah, I don't think they would have. I don't think he would have signed a new contract with Chelsea had he not had the reassurances that he'd be picked. Silva's Thiago Silva's a strange one because he's 38. He'll be 39 by the time the season finishes. But when he doesn't play, we look really vulnerable. So, I mean, we can't rely on him for another 2 years. This will be his last season at Chelsea because I think he's already said that he wants to finish his career in Brazil. So this will be it. Badiashile is a weird one because when he was bought in January, I thought he looked really good. He played 2 or 3 games and we kept 2 or 3 clean sheets in a row. And I thought he looked really good, but then all of a sudden he was just out of favour and he didn't really get a look in. Chalobah, I don't know. Too many mistakes to me. I'm surprised that he's not. There's been rumours of him leaving, but nothing really concrete. So
I
don't know. I think if the right money came in for him, although I think for another club, I think he'd do really well, but too many mistakes. I'm not a huge fan, if I'm honest. So, but
going forward, you've still got. I mean, I know some of these might be leaving. Ziyech has apparently been leaving all summer, but he's still there. Technically,
no one's going to buy him. No one's going to buy him because he failed a medical for one of the Saudi teams.
You got Mudryk, obviously, Sterling, Broges doesn't seem to have gone anywhere. Madueke doesn't really seem to have featured that much. Obviously, you've just signed Jackson. You've signed Nkunku as well. Yeah, my point is there's still a lot for Pochettino to manage.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be players that are unhappy that they're not starting, and he's going to have to be able to deal with that. Which
that's it. We've got such a young squad now, really young squad. There's not a huge amount of experience. I think Kepa's our longest serving player now. I think.
Crazy, considering.
Apart from maybe Reece James.
You
don't have a captain yet either. They haven't decided on the captain. I mean, Reece James has been captaining when he's been starting during pre-season, so I assume that's the way they're going to go. With maybe Silva as the vice captain.
Ian Matson's been there since 2019. He's one of the.
He's played really well pre-season. I would be very surprised if they let him
go. At 21 years old, he's been there. He's one of the older players. And then other than that, it's Gallagher, Reece James, all the players that have come through the academy, Chalobah and people like that. So interesting. It's going to be an interesting season. I've made my prediction for where they're going to finish. So we'll see.
Yeah,
overestimate
maybe Salcido from Brighton coming in.
Yes,
I'm really torn about this one though.
It's a big price tag, isn't it?
I'd take him, but I think the prices that they want near on 100 million, don't they? I just can't see it. I'd be very, very wary about paying that much for him.
He is worth that to them. You've got to say.
I understand, but I think.
Yeah.
I feel like if we bought him for 90 million, I don't feel that we are getting a 90 million pound player. I think there's other options for less money that you could possibly get. I like the guy from Bayern Munich, Goretzka.
Yeah.
I think you could get him for like 60, 65 million.
Yeah.
So,
and I trust him more. He's been very consistent.
I just not. It just seems a lot of money to pay for him. I'm not sure. Not sure. And the other one they're on about signing is Tyler Adams from Leeds.
Yeah,
he's got clause, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Relegation clause, I think. He was rumoured with Villa for the start of the window, but I think once we Tielemans over the line, I don't think we've been rumoured with him since. So he's all yours. I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, it just seems like another player just to add to players that we already got. The thing is, like, seeing some of these youngsters that we've got playing through pre-season, I think some of them to me look ready. Like that Maatsen, he looked really good pre-season, and you've also got another centre back called Humphreys.
Yeah,
he started 3 of the pre-season games, and I thought again he looked really good. So, I mean, I'm not sure about Sauceda. I mean, if they got him for like 60, 65, then I'd be happy. But I think they're spending too much. I'm not a fan of it, if I'm honest. So have to wait and see. But that's our sort of season review, I guess, on our clubs, where they fare. Interesting to see. But coming up in part 2, we've got some, I guess, season predictions.
Yeah, I think so.
With a few, I guess, entertaining things on there as well. I've seen the list that you sent. So we'll be back in part 2. Hello and welcome back to part 2 of this pre-season special. Liam was kind enough to do most of this, to be honest with you. You've chosen some season predictions, and I've gone through the list and I've picked team or player or wild, whatever it was, prediction of the season. Last season, I think I say that Newcastle would finish in the bottom half.
Yes, you did.
But yeah, I've gone for something a bit more. A bit more. It could happen.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so, I thought it worked so well last year. I thought what I'll do is I'll save these. If we make our predictions now, I'll save these, and then in the last episode of the series this year, we'll run through them and basically laugh at how little I know about football. But I was relatively accurate last year.
Mine wasn't. Mine was really bad. Really bad.
My wild card was Leicester to finish actually in the bottom 5. I think I said I should have gone all in and gone for relegation, but I didn't. I chickened out. So hopefully this year I can make amends for it. But yeah, shall we start from the top, Chris?
Yes. Yes.
Who will be champions this season?
I have gone with the same as last season, and that was Manchester City.
Yes, and I've already made my predictions as well, and I've also gone for Man City. It's quite hard to see anyone, I think, toppling them. I think it might be close, but Arsenal have had a good window. Liverpool, maybe. They hit some good form at the end of last year. Can't see Man City.
I actually think the gap will be bigger this season.
You're going for it was quite big in the end this year, I think, wasn't it?
I don't think we'll see like what we saw last season, where it was like an Arsenal will they, won't they. I don't think. I think by March next year, I think they'll be almost there.
Are we at risk of becoming like a League One for France with just one team dominating relentlessly?
I just think their spine to their team is I don't think anyone's actually comes close in the league, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the other end. Let's pick a team to be relegated. Who?
I've put this, and I feel bad. I've put Luton. I just don't. This is no disrespect to them, but the money that they haven't spent. I mean, it's just. I mean, Fulham went for it for a few times they've gone for it, and I know it's backfired, but it seems like they've been really cautious. I just think that they haven't bought enough players in, and even the players that they have bought in I don't think are enough. I don't. I feel bad.
No, Luton have signed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've signed 7 players, but they are Ryan Giles, who I've never seen play footballs, an undisclosed fee. Tahith Chong from Birmingham for 4 million, who was quite good in the Championship, but it will be interesting to see him take the step up. Yeah. Mads Anderson from Barnsley for an undisclosed fee.
League One player.
Yeah, must have been from League One last season. Nakamba, we mentioned, signing from Villa. Chidozie Ogbene from Rotherham was free. Issa Kabore from Manchester City on loan, who's obviously never played a game for Man City. And then Thomas Kaminski from Blackburn for $2.5 million.
There's just no experience in that team at all.
No, there's not much Premier League experience other than Nakamba having a squad player role at Villa.
What they should have done is they should have looked at all the players that were getting released by Premier League clubs last season and just bought 3 or 4 of them, because they need experience in that team. They've got no experience really. I mean, Nakamba's played a handful of games for you, hasn't he? But I mean, I feel bad for saying it because in the Championship they've been they look so good in the Championship, but I think this is a step too much for them.
Yeah, I understand it, but I've gone for Bournemouth to go down this year. Luton would have been probably I think Luton are the option that a lot of people are going to take. I've decided against it, which we will come on to a little bit later in some other predictions. But I went for Bournemouth mostly because their transfer window, it's been busy. They've signed a few people, and similar to what you said about Luton, really, there's just not much Premier League experience in there. No. I think they've lost a big player. So Jefferson Lerma's left, who I thought was really good for them last season, and he's gone for free to Crystal Palace. And I don't really see where they're going to replace him. So they've signed Roman Favre, I've mullered that pronunciation, Roman Favre from Lyon, Justin Kluivert from Roma, who is obviously son of Patrick Kluivert. He looked like quite a raw talent even when he was at Ajax, and he's never really gone on to prove himself. Hamed Traore from Sassuolo, £20 million. Could be amazing. I've no idea.
And then he's good on my Football Manager.
Is he good on Football? Well,
he's in my Bournemouth squad in Football Manager.
Is he?
Yeah.
That is what I tend to go signings. Milos Kerkez is the other one who I've seen on Football Manager, who's not been bad, but he is very young. And they've signed him for just over 15 million. Bournemouth have a habit of proving people wrong, so I'm sure I'll be proven wrong at the end of the season.
Well, they would be in my bottom 3, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
They would be. So
I think so. Yeah, I do think so. I mean, they've sent that Favre back out on loan, by the way. I think I forgot to add that in. So they bought him 12 million from Lyon, 12.8 million from Lyon, and then they've loaned him out to Lorient. So he won't play. Right. So the other one they've made is Ion Radu from Inter Milan on loan.
He's a defender, isn't he, Radu? I think he's a defender.
I believe so. But yeah, that's why I've sort of gone for them to go down. I don't think they've got much experience in that squad. I think they looked at they only really survived last year because there were 3 teams that were worse than them. And I think it's going to be a struggle again. If they don't go down, I think they'll be close. So I've gone for them to get relegated. From getting relegated to someone who you think might overachieve this season. So who have you gone for the biggest overachieve?
You'll be happy here. You'll be happy.
Go on then.
I put Villa. I put Villa.
Oh, wonderful.
Now there are a few reasons, but the standout reason is the form that you had in the second half of the last season under Emery. I think the form table put you in second. Second half of the season. I think you were second, maybe third. But I can see you finishing. In a high position.
Yeah.
I honestly think you'll be in top 6.
I will take that happily. I don't want to dwell on it too much because it'll seem like I'm bragging. But my biggest overachiever, I think, might surprise a few people. I've actually gone for Everton, who I think most people will have as being near relegation again. The reason I've gone for them is Dyche kept them up last season by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah.
And it looks like they've learnt a little bit from their mistakes of just paying way over the odds for mediocre talent. And instead they've decided to buy absolutely nobody. They've bought a couple of players. I'm maybe exaggerating a little bit. So Ashley Young went to Everton, and they've also signed Arnaud Danjuma on loan. So they've spent no money. They've got a lone player and they've bought Ashley Young for free. But I just think that Dyche has got a history of working on no budget, getting the best out of what's there, motivating players. And I have a feeling that if they can start well in the first few games, especially at home, the fans will be behind them. And I could see them avoiding a relegation battle this year. Maybe that's the kiss of death for them. But I've personally got them to on mid-table where I think most people have them down. Yeah, that's it. They're down. So who do you think are going to be the biggest underachievers?
This is going to seem like I'm crapping on them as well. I've put Tottenham.
Nice.
I think this is going to go one or two ways to Tottenham this season. I mean, if they lose Kane, I mean, they are in, because they won't be able to replace him like for like. There's no doubt about that. They will not be replacing him like for like. They've got Son who can score goals. He's a proven goal scorer, but he was hit and miss last season.
He relies a lot on the link up with Kane as well.
Yeah, I think
they both each other. I think. Yeah,
I think if he does go, they'll struggle. They'll finish 8th or below.
Yeah,
but even with Kane, I still don't think they're going to be that great. If I'm honest, I don't know really. I just think that hit and miss, and without Kane, they are in big trouble. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, harsh. But I get where you're coming from. I do, and I think with an unproven manager as well, Postecoglou might be great. You can never tell with the manager that comes from Celtic because either way the worst they can finish with Celtic, let's face it, is second. And if they win the league with Celtic, they could be brilliant. They could be just a normal average manager. You never know. So be interesting to find out. My underachiever, is in the spirit of crapping on rivals, I've gone for Wolves because I'm just looking at transfers in. So they've got Matt Doherty back from Atletico Madrid for free. They've signed Boubacar Traore from Metz for $9.5 million. And they've signed someone called Tom King from Northampton for free.
Lovely.
Fine in itself if they hadn't have sold Ruben Neves, Raul Jimenez and Nathan Collins, probably the spine of their team. They got a lot of money for them. Neves nearly 50 million. Nathan Collins has gone for 23 million. And Jimenez just for 5.5 million. They've also got 7.5 for Connor Cody as well, who was on loan at Everton last season, but personality. He was club captain at Wolves. And they just don't seem to have spent it yet. They may well do between now and the start of the season. But I think they're big losses, and that's not even taken into account João Moutinho, he's left for free. Diego Costa's left for free. I think Wolves sort of laboured to a really average mid-table finish last season, and I just don't think they've strengthened at all this season. So I think it could be a long season for them. So that I've gone for them as my biggest underachiever. Next one's a fun one. Make me a wild prediction, Chris.
Oh god, this is not going to look good. Postecoglou to be sacked before Christmas.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not saying any more.
Yeah, no.
You can do yours.
Well, mine. Yeah, this is going to sound familiar, Chris. I've gone for Newcastle to finish mid-table.
Oh god.
And I've added to that, and I've said that the Saudi investment fund are going to leave so they can focus on the Saudi Premier League. I don't know why. I had to come up with something absolutely ridiculous. And I'm basing this off absolutely no fact whatsoever. But Newcastle's signings are all going to fail. Eddie Howe's going to get sacked. Newcastle are going to finish in the mid-table at best, and the owners are going to say they've had enough. So, yeah.
Wild.
Why not? Why not? It is a wild prediction for a reason. Next one. Another wild prediction. Chris, where are Chelsea going to finish this season?
Third.
You've gone third.
Third, yeah.
Interesting. So you're backing Poch.
Yeah.
Back Champions League.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've gone fourth.
Yeah, I said anywhere in the top 6 I'd be happy.
Yeah, we're not too far off each other, just purely because I think you've got the right manager in place now, and I think you've made some good signings. You've already got a sort of young base to the squad there.
Yeah.
I just think you need to kick out a lot of the dead first, and that's going to be his main job. But yeah, I think fourth is definitely achievable this season. It can't get any worse, can it? Let's be honest. Now it's your turn to do my team. Where do you think Villa are going to finish?
5th.
Ooh.
I said they finished top 6 as well, so I just think you'll be there or thereabouts. I couldn't decide 4th, 5th or 6th. I just went in the middle, did 5th.
I'm just because I want to know a little bit of detail around it. So we've obviously got Chelsea finishing 3rd. You've got Man City winning the league. Who are the other two that have finished?
That's a very good question. It's just not on the list.
No, it's not. It isn't on the list. I am putting you on the spot.
I would say 2nd Liverpool.
Yeah.
4th Man United.
Okay, fair enough. So we're finishing
and
ahead.
Arsenal 6th. I haven't got
finishing
Newcastle.
ahead of Arsenal.
Yeah, I haven't got Newcastle in the top 6.
Ahead of Arsenal, ahead of Newcastle, ahead of Spurs. It's going to be a good season. I've got 7th. I've gone 7th because it's an improvement on last year, and it still qualifies us for Europe. And because I don't want to get too excited, the last time it happened, Martin O'Neill resigned. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to go with 7th position because I think we've had a decent transfer window, so I think it's enough to improve us. Next one. Who is going to finish the highest out of the promoted teams?
I don't know about you, but I thought this was quite an easy one. I put Burnley.
Interesting. So, just because you've answered that, no, it's not an easy one for me. Sorry. What makes Burnley?
I just think that they were so good in the Championship last season. I just think they're better than the other two teams. I think Vincent Kompany looks like a really good manager. I think Burnley will finish 11th or 12th.
Ooh, I'm going to put that in brackets. 11th or 12th.
Yeah.
That is a bold claim. That could have been your wild prediction.
I'd put Tottenham one in there.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It would have been bolder if you'd have said Tottenham to actually win something. That would have been a very wild prediction.
No, that's just not happening. That's just stupid. I don't want to make myself look stupid again.
No, of course not. of course not. I've gone for Luton to finish the highest of the promoted teams, Chris. I know you've got them as favourites to go down. The reason I've done this, I know what you're saying about transfers. I get that. But I've just got a feeling that no team is going to enjoy playing at Kenilworth Road. And I think their home form is going to be as good as anyone. I genuinely think, I had it as my wild prediction that they'd go unbeaten at home. I don't think they're going to go unbeaten at home, but I think they'll pick up points from some big teams playing at Kenilworth Road. And I think they're going to finish, I don't think they're going to finish in the top half or anything, but I think they'll be relatively comfortable in sort of 40, 50, something like that. I think they'll survive by quite a way. And then next year might be a bit of a struggle. But I actually have Burnley as my weaker of the three teams.
Oh, right.
I don't know why. I'm not too sure. I just think Sheffield United, they've sort of been around recently, done pretty well. Like they finished. Where did they finish? Was it 8th when they were in the Premier League first time back? Something like that. It was in the top half. And they kept quite a few of those players. Burnley have had a bit more turnover, so I guess, I don't know, I just sort of envisage them to be the worst of the three, but who knows? Pure guesswork. Who is going to be top scorer?
This is pretty off. Haaland.
Yeah, I've written it for it. Yeah, so that's actually the first one that we agree on, Chris. Both going for Erling Haaland as top scorer. Bit more difficult then. Who's going to be the first manager to be sacked? I think I know yours.
No, it's not. It's not.
Oh, it's not.
I think this guy might get sacked before.
Go on then.
David Moyes.
Oh, we've agreed on 2. I've gone for Moyes as well. It's not looking good for him, is it?
No. I don't know. I just think that this season, I think they're going to struggle again this season. And I think they'll have enough and he'll be off.
Got a lot of money to spend, but they've not spent any of it. I don't think they've spent any at all, have they?
No.
So they've got 105 million for Bryce, and they've got 27.5 million for Scamacca.
I know they're trying to get more Prowse, aren't they? But I think Southampton are digging their heels then over the price. So.
Yeah, I agree. So I've gone David Moore. Who is the best signing of the summer?
I'm going for Nicholas Jackson from Chelsea.
Interesting. He has looked really good.
I think for 30 million in this climate, I can see him getting 15 plus goals in the league.
Yeah.
And I think it's someone that we desperately needed. We needed a goal scorer, and this guy looks like he's going to get quite a few, so that's why.
Just noted that in bracket.
Oh my god, there's a lot of brackets.
For a similar reason, actually, I've gone for Jurrien Timber because
from Arsenal,
he's international in a good side. He's looked good for Ajax for a couple of years now. I think he'll fit well into the Arsenal side. He can play in about 20 positions. So for 30-something million, I just think that's an absolute bargain. And I think he's going to be quite a consistent player for them this season. But from the best signing, who do you think is going to be the worst signing?
I have put this is down to price, and I just don't understand where he fits in. I've gone for Kai Havertz.
Ooh.
And I'm not obviously bitter that he's left. I've already said previously in this podcast, I'd never understood where his best position was. I don't think he knows where his best position is. He's definitely not an out-and-out striker, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
And yes, he missed a few good chances yesterday against Man City as well. So I've gone for him purely that they paid that much for him, and I just don't think they'll get a good enough return.
Yeah, fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. If there's anyone that's going to know about Havertz, it's going to be a Chelsea fan. So we will wait and see. I have gone for. I was torn between 2. I'm still not sure which one it's going to be. I'd originally put Sandro Tonali because my wild was Newcastle to finish in the mid-table. But I actually rate him. He's looked good, albeit in Serie A, and I know they're very different leagues. That's not to say Serie A is awful. It's not, but everything's done at a bit of a different pace. So instead, I'm going to put him into second, and I'm going to say Rasmus Højlund, purely because
no one's going to like that.
Yeah, he's not actually scored that many goals, I don't think, and that's 70 odd million on what Man U are hoping is clearly going to be the next Haaland.
No, he's not.
He's got a lot.
He's not.
No. So I'm going to go Højlund, just again, similar to you. The price tag, I think, was ridiculous for someone as inexperienced as him.
I'll give you an insight into. I saw a stat that Jorginho is quicker than him, basically. Their top speeds. Jorginho has a higher top speed than what he had in Serie A last season.
So Højlund last season, just for anyone who doesn't follow Serie A, scored 9 goals in 32 games at Atalanta. And then before that, he scored 9 goals in 18 games in the Austrian Bundesliga. And then before that, he scored 0 goals in 19 games in the Danish Superliga. Albeit, he is only 20, which is fair. You know, he's only been a professional since 2020.
Yeah.
He's been playing in the first team relatively regularly since he was about 16, 17. But it just doesn't strike me as someone who's going to be the prolific striker that Man United need. And I just don't understand that they've got Rashford, who's just come off his best scoring season. So, yeah, that's why I've made him the worst signing of the summer, certainly so far anyway. We've got some more fun ones if you think we've got time to run through them, Chris.
I can run through them quickly if you want.
So I've asked you to pick one team to be promoted from each division.
I didn't know how far down divisions you wanted me to go, so I've done quite a few.
Went down to League 2, but feel free to go further if you've got...
Okay, so Championship, I've got Leicester.
Yeah, same.
League 1, I've got Bolton.
Interesting, yeah.
League 2, I've got MK Dons.
Okay, so we've got 2 of the same 3 there. I've gone for MK Dons as well, and I've gone for Leicester. But I've opted for Barnsley, not just because they were nil at the weekend, but I do genuinely think they were unlucky not to go up last year. And they've received quite a bit of money actually over the summer. So I imagine that they'll be there or thereabouts. We've also got the usual Yeovil prediction. How are they going to get on in the National League South? Am I correct, Chris?
That's right, yeah.
How are they getting on this year?
They lost on Saturday.
They did.
Yes. First game. I still think they'll go up.
You'll go promoted?
I've put second, yeah.
Okay, I've gone top 4. I think they'll finish 4th. Just because I had to pick a number at random, and I thought they'd be near the top. I don't know any other team from that league really. So, final prediction. After Tom Brady's taken a stake in Birmingham City, who is going to be the next American to buy into a British club? Any idea?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Who's Elon Musk buying?
He is going to buy his own team. He's going to call them X.
Nice. Not even XFC.
No, just X. They're going to play.
Elon Musk.
Yeah. He's going to work them up. I don't know. He just seems like he's going to put his hand in somewhere. I'm not sure where, but
it's the kind of thing he'd do.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I've gone for Zac Efron to buy Forest Green Rovers because he's all about the environment. I thought, why not? Forest Green love renewable energy, vegan burgers. It's the kind of thing Zac Efron would do.
Am I right in thinking they replaced the woman that was in charge there?
Yes, yeah. She was in charge for, I think, the grand total of 1 pre-season game.
Was this like a PR thing or something?
I think she was in temporary charge after Ferguson left. But I'm guessing people wanted her to get the job properly. And they've said no.
It's a bit suspicious. It was like a big thing about her being the first female manager, and then literally like 2-3 days later, they're like, "Oh, we've got a new manager." I was thinking, well, didn't they just do a whole thing on you guys getting a female manager? Never mind.
Yeah, they didn't get off to a good start at the season. They lost at the weekend as well. I finally have a guess the 11 just to end the podcast if you wanted to do one.
Yeah.
So I started the season last year with one of these and then never did another one again. So you might actually get a few more this season. So you've got one life, so you can either get a guess wrong or I can tell you the answer of a specific position of your choice. If you guess an oncoming substitute, I'll give you another free go. So you basically got to guess the starting 11 for England against Greece on Saturday the 6th of October 2001. And if you're thinking, what on earth? It's the game where a certain someone scored a last-minute free kick. Do you remember the game, Chris?
I remember the game.
So that's the game. You've got to guess England's starting 11 from that day. You have one life where you can either get a guess wrong or I can tell you a specific position.
Right. Can I run through a few that I probably know straight away, or have I got to do position first?
You can run through who you want.
Okay, well, I'll go for the obvious one because he scored. David Beckham.
David Beckham is correct.
I will say 2001. I'd say Gary Neville.
Gary Neville.
Ashley Cole.
Yeah. That's 2. Ashley Cole. That's 3.
Rio Ferdinand.
Rio Ferdinand is 4.
2001. Paul Scholes.
Correct. That is 5.
Robbie Fowler.
Correct. That is 6. Now,
yeah. Just trying to think about the game.
Just before you started this, I thought 7 would be a very.
How many have I got?
You're on 6 already.
And I've got a lifeline.
Have a lifeline so I can give you.
Tell me the other striker.
The other striker for number 7 was Emile Heskey.
So missing goalie, centre back, and a winger, and have I said Rio Ferdinand?
You have, yes.
I did Scholes. Gerrard?
Correct. 8. Well done.
I'm
Maya.
I think I've squeezed as much out of her because the goalkeeper. I just got a feeling that David Seaman wasn't playing. I don't know about. I've got 8, haven't I?
You've got 8, yeah. Do you want to take a stab in the dark?
I'll guess one more. Andy Cole?
Well, Andy Cole came on as a sub. So
right, that's fine.
Yeah.
I am. Who would have been playing at centre back with Rio Ferdinand? Because it wouldn't have been John Terry. I don't know if Tony Adams?
Unlucky.
It's
the other Arsenal centre back.
Keane.
Keane, yeah. Martin Keane started centre back. You were right. It wasn't David Seaman in goal. It was Nigel Martin.
Oh my God.
Nigel Martin starting goal.
No wonder we struggled.
I know. The only other one that you didn't get, who I always forget played so many times for England, was Nick Barmby.
Oh, bloody hell, never would have.
Getting left of midfield, with Beckham on the right and Scholes and Gerrard in the middle. Not a bad midfield, that really. And then subs that came on, you already guessed Andy Cole. Teddy Sheringham came on and scored the other England goal that day. And Steve McManaman was the other sub that came on. So, no Michael Owen, no Frank Lampard. I mean, Owen would have been playing by then, so I don't know why he wasn't in the team that day. Maybe he was out injured or something.
Strange, yeah.
Lampard maybe a little bit too young. I think he maybe just about made his debut by then. But, I mean, Scholes and Gerrard aren't too bad players to put in instead, are they? So, but yeah, well done. I genuinely thought 7 was going to be a great score, so to get 8 is pretty impressive. So well done.
How about this? Was Charles playing for Greece?
Let me have a.
And the only other one I know was Davidas.
The
They're the only two I remember from back then. I swear it's like Charisteas or something.
So yeah,
Davidas, something. Davidas.
So players that you might know, Nicopolidis. I don't know whether you remember him in goal. Davidas, you were correct. Theo Zagorakis, formerly of Leicester. Charisteas, yeah, absolutely right. He scored that day in the 36th minute. And Georgios Karagounis.
Oh, Karagounis, yeah.
And then I don't really recognise any other players apart from Nikos Maklas came on as a sub, who I think had some time in this country, and Vasilis Lakis, I think. But other than that,
just reading some stats about this game.
Yeah.
Apparently, Teddy Sheringham's goal was the quickest ever scored by a substitute. 15 seconds.
Well, there you go.
And apparently, this David Beckham's free kick was. This is arguably the most famous goal in English history.
I mean, I'd argue the 4th goal of the World Cup in '66.
It says David Beckham's cannon of a free kick. It wasn't really a cannon, was it? He just hit a top corner.
Yeah, curler, wasn't it?
We did win that. We won the group, didn't we? Because Germany drew with Finland 0-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm looking at the same notes as you. It was Nick Barmby, Andy Cole, and Steve McManaman's last cap for England. Clearly, the manager wasn't happy that day.
Well, the manager was Sven-Göran Eriksson, so.
Yeah. But yeah,
right.
We're there.
So that's it for the pre-season special. I think the new series. I think we're going to wait, aren't we, for a couple of weeks in.
Get a few
games in, and then we'll be back for a new series. Anything else, Liam?
Nothing else from me.
We'll see you soon.